Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Margarita and I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling mom to 4 kids, and on my channel I share homemaking and motherhood videos. Today is a cold and snowy day. My afternoon plans have been canceled and I thought what better way to use up my free afternoon than making some pelemeni. Pelemeni are Russian dumplings or ravioli that are stuffed with meat, some ground meat, and are boiled, and then you can toss them with some salt and butter and pepper, or you can eat them with the broth or the water that they were cooking in, and it's such a delicious and comforting meal. I came to the States when I was 5 years old, but I grew up eating Russian food all my life and I absolutely love it. If you ask me to name my favorite foods, they will be Russian foods. They're just so comforting and so delicious, something I grew up on. Now my family and my kids and my husband all love pelemeni. They actually love Russian foods as well. Pelemeni are very easy and simple to make, but they are a little bit time consuming. But since I have this afternoon free, I thought what better way to use up this time. Now to make pelemeni, you need very simple ingredients. You just need some ground meat. I prefer to use ground beef, but you can use ground pork or ground chicken as well. And you just need some flour, eggs, salt, pepper, and 1 onion. That's it. I'm pretty sure you have all these ingredients on hand. And if you have about 1 to 2 hours free, I definitely recommend trying this. You will not be disappointed. So let's get started. I will start off by making the dough. Into my stand mixer, I am adding 4 eggs, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1.5 cups of water. And I'm just going to use the whisk attachment and blend everything together. I will be adding a total of 6 cups of flour. I like to add 2 cups at a time. I find that it incorporates better this way. I start off by using the paddle attachment and then I switch to my dough hook attachment when I add the last 2 cups. I will let that mixer knead the dough for a bit, then I will transfer the dough to a floured surface and I will knead it by hand for about 5 minutes, and then I will leave it on the table. I like to cover it with a bowl. I'm gonna let the dough rest for about 20 minutes for the gluten to do its work. Then I come back and knead it one more time and let it rest for another 20 minutes. To prepare my filling, I am grating 1 onion. You can also chop it if you do not have a grater, but I do find that grating it just makes it a lot smaller and you don't get that crunchy onion taste. You need 1 pound of meat. I'm using 1 pound of ground beef. Just toss it into your bowl, add some salt and pepper, and then using my paddle attachment, I'm going to give everything a good stir. I am getting my tools ready. I prefer to do this at the table so I can sit down. I'm going to need small biscuit cutters. If you don't have these, a small glass would work as well. I'm also going to use rolling pins and a sheet or a tray. To start off, I'm going to cut off a small piece of dough. I like to work in small sections because it is just me making pelemeni and the dough can easily dry out and I'll have trouble making it stick together. I am just going to roll it out until it is very thin, and I'll show you a close-up when I'm done. Next, I will grab my biscuit cutter and make my circles. Now, if you do not have a biscuit cutter or a small glass, do not despair. I will show you how to make pelemeni without either. It's the way I used to make them and the way my mama still makes them. I just prefer the biscuit cutter now because I like all my circles even, and I like all my pelemeni the same exact size. I make sure and keep my scrap dough. I just put it under the bowl to keep it nice and moist. I use every piece of dough for this recipe. I place about half a teaspoon of filling inside each circle. I like to keep a napkin on my lap, that way I can wipe off my fingers as I go. To make the pelemeni shape, you just want to keep the filling in the center and pinch the sides together to get a half moon shape. Then you pull both of the ends and pinch them together. That's it, nice and simple. Pelemeni are so easy to make, but they can be time consuming if you are making them alone. It's always nice to have multiple people helping. That way it goes a lot faster. I grew up in a large family with many helping hands. It never took us more than an hour to make enough pelemeni to feed us and store away for one more time, because everybody had a job. One person rolled the dough, the next person added the filling, and then the next one pinched the sides together, and maybe the little kids would help by putting them all on a tray. I do not mix the scrap piece of dough with the brand new slice. I like to keep all the scraps until the end, and then I combine them together and roll them out because they have two different consistencies. Now I'm going to show you how to make pelemeni without a biscuit cutter or a small glass. You want to take a piece of dough and roll it out into a snake shape, nice and thin. Then grab your knife and cut off sections about 1/4 of an inch each. Then take each section that you cut off and dip them into flour and shape them with your fingers into a circle. Next, you just use your rolling pin and roll out each section of dough into a small circle. To compare, I will show you the circle I just rolled out to one that I cut out with the biscuit cutter. As you can see, the one made with the cutter is neater and more even. But of course, that doesn't affect the taste. You can still make pelemeni this way. I grew up making these with many other siblings, and they were always a little bit lopsided and strange looking, but it doesn't really matter after you cook them. The most important thing is not to roll them out too thick or too thin. If some of yours are too thick, they won't cook evenly with the others, and if they are too thin, the filling will fall out during the cooking process. You would cook these the exact same way you would cook pasta. Just bring a large pot of salted water to boil, then add your pelemeni. I like to add them one at a time when they are fresh, or just dump the whole bag when they are frozen. I like to make sure I stir them so they do not stick to the bottom. I like to cook them for about 13 minutes for frozen and about 10 minutes for fresh. This is what they should look like on the inside. I love to toss these with some butter. In my large bowl, I have about 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm just spooning out my cooked pelemeni with a slotted spoon into my bowl. Then I'm just going to add some pepper to it and toss everything together. My younger kids love to eat these plain without any broth. However, me, my oldest daughter, and my husband all like to eat ours with the broth. Do not dump that out. That is good tasting broth to top your pelemeni. It turns out kind of into a soup. It keeps the pelemeni hotter longer. I like to toss some green chives over it, and dinner is served. To freeze these, I just place my tray into the freezer for about an hour or 2 until the pelemeni are completely frozen. Then I transfer them into a Ziploc bag. I stored them in my freezer for those busy nights. They make a delicious home-cooked dinner in no time. Well, this brings this video to an end. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. The full recipe will be linked down below for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.